Why isn't Bitcoin's price higher? Well, one day you will be the reason Bitcoin's price isn't higher. Let's talk through it. Okay, so lots of things affect the price of an asset. It's obviously supply and demand, so the price of Bitcoin right now is dependent on the supply and demand of people in the marketplace in any period of time. In the last 24 hours, there's something like $50 billion of Bitcoin that's changed hands one way or another. For every seller, there's a buyer. For every buyer, there's a seller. And sure, there's some people trading and there's options and there's, all the stuff that happens in every market. But the number one reason Bitcoin's price isn't higher is because people who have owned it a really long time, much longer than me, have decided to take some of their chips off the table and improve the lives of themselves and their family somehow. And your first reaction to that is probably, wait, that's not fair. If they would stop selling, my Bitcoin price would be higher. But one day, you will be the reason that Bitcoin's price isn't higher. You see, everybody at some point decides that their wealth is high enough that they want to improve the lives of themselves and their families. Maybe they put a down payment on a house for the first time. Maybe they upgrade the house they are in for the first time. Maybe they buy an RV so that they can drive with their family all over the western part of the United States on big RV trips. I don't know. Maybe it's nice vacations. Maybe it's whatever. But the people who bought Bitcoin at a penny found it irresistible when Bitcoin was 10 cents to do something nice to improve the lives of themselves and their family. The people who bought Bitcoin at 10 cents did the same thing at $1. People at $1, same thing at $10. People at $10, same thing at $100. People at $100, same thing at $1,000. People at $1,000, same thing as $10,000. And people who bought Bitcoin for the first time around the time when I did in late 2017 and early 2018, which it was around $10,000 at that time, even those people, they've sat on Bitcoin for 7 or 8 years and they're starting to start families or they're wanting to upgrade from their apartment in New York City to an actual real house with a yard in New York City. Whatever it is, some of those people have decided that they're sitting on a lot more Bitcoin than they need right now, and they value improving the lives of themselves and their family more than they value the 200 Bitcoin they owned, or the 2,000 Bitcoin they own, or in the early days, the 20,000 Bitcoin they own, or whatever crazy number that's way more Bitcoin than you or I have, but they have it because they bought it when it was way cheaper. One second. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. If you're buying Bitcoin right now at $110,000 and you're patient and you sit on it for 5 or 10 years, then you too will experience Bitcoin going up by a factor of 10. And the Bitcoin you bought at $110,000 will be worth 1.1 million at some point in the future. Again, maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 5 years, maybe it takes longer. I don't know. But at some point, and at some point in the future, because only 5% of the world's population currently owns Bitcoin, the vast majority of the world's population will adopt Bitcoin when it is a much higher price. A significant amount of the world population will adopt Bitcoin at a price higher than $1.1 million. And when the price is $1.1 million and you've made 10 times your money, the price will be drifting about just like it is now. It'll get stuck for 6 months or 8 months or something like that. And people will be like, why doesn't Bitcoin go anywhere? It's been going up and down between 1 million and 1.2 million and then back to 1.1 million. All we're doing is we're going up and down around $1.1 million. And every time it starts to go north of $1.1 million, someone is selling it. And that's keeping the price from just going higher. And that someone will be you. Because if you own enough Bitcoin, and if your Bitcoin increases in value by a factor of 10, I can promise you at some point around $1.1 million per Bitcoin, when you're sitting on a handsome 10x your money from today, you too will have the bright idea that maybe you should build an expansion on your house. Maybe you should buy an RV. Maybe you should buy a house for the first time. Maybe you should go on a nice vacation for your family and your extended family. I don't know, whatever it is your thing is. But the day will come when you, even you, are the reason the Bitcoin price is not higher, because even you are selling some of your Bitcoin to improve the lives of you, yourself, and your family. And guess what? That's what money's job is. Money's job is to enable you to improve the lives of yourself and your family and the people around you. Donating to Christian missions or whatever it is your thing is. Money enables you to do that. And the more money you have, the more you can do that. And if your money increases in value enough, I promise you're going to want to do some of that. Probably more than whatever it is, the amount of it you're doing right now. And so at some point, let's call it 1.1 million, we will be, listlessly bobbing around 10% above, 10% below, 1%, 1.1 million. It'll just seem like Bitcoin is completely stuck for like 6 or 8 months. And someone on Twitter will say, who's selling? Who's selling? Why isn't the price higher? Why have we been at $1.1 million for 6 or 8 months now? Someone must be selling. And you will be sitting there on a nice vacation, enjoying the expansion on your house, living in a house that's a better fit for you and your family than whatever you had before. And that someone will be you that is selling Bitcoin. But guess what? Even you should be thankful for the people who bought Bitcoin way back and are selling it. Because if they didn't sell it, you couldn't buy it. So let's assume back in 2017 and 2018, when I was buying my first Bitcoin around, $9,000-$10,000, let's call it $10,000 for an even round number. Back then, people were complaining that Bitcoin's price wasn't going up fast enough, and it had been around $10,000 for too long. I forget how long it was around $10,000, but I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, it had been a long time. Because when you hit those big round numbers, a lot of people, think, wow, $10,000 of Bitcoin, never thought it would get there. And then they have bright ideas for how they're going to improve themselves, their lives for themselves and their families, and they spend some. So every time you get above 10,000, somebody has the bright idea that, it's back above 10,000. I guess I can afford that nice thing that improves the lives of myself or my family. So Bitcoin, it took a while till it was consistently above $10,000, because every time it went above $10,000, some bright-eyed, bushy-tailed person would decide that they were up 10x on their investment, and they would decide to buy something nice with their Bitcoin. But had they not been selling Bitcoin back then, I could not have bought Bitcoin at $10,000. Now, I've bought Bitcoin at every price, including $122,000. The most expensive Bitcoin I've ever bought is $122,000, like a month or two ago. So I bought it at every price, but I could not have bought that initial Bitcoin that I bought. Back then, I could not have bought that initial Bitcoin unless someone was selling. If everyone who ever accumulated Bitcoin never sold, then I'd be stuck buying it for more than $1 million a coin. You'd be stuck buying it for $1 million a coin. Nobody'd be able to buy Bitcoin for $109,000 right now unless someone somewhere was selling. So the same people that complain that the price is suppressed and that, they wish, the price would go up, some of those same people are the same people who say, OGs have too much Bitcoin. The original people, OGs, original Bitcoiners have too much Bitcoin. Well, guess what? How do you think they're not going to have as much Bitcoin? They're going to sell some of their Bitcoin. So if you're worried about Bitcoin, OGs having too much Bitcoin, guess what? The reason the price isn't higher is because some of them are selling that Bitcoin to you. And you and everyone else in the world is benefiting from the ability to buy Bitcoin at $109,000 a coin. At some point in the future, that will no longer be possible, just like it will never be possible ever again to buy $10,000 Bitcoin. It will probably never be possible ever again to buy $50,000 Bitcoin. I don't know. There's a good chance you'll never see $75,000 Bitcoin for the rest of your life. Who knows? We could go through some World War III massive recession and dip down there temporarily. I don't know. But if people were not selling, then all of the original Bitcoiners would own all the Bitcoin, or a huge percentage of it. They don't. The original Bitcoiners own way less Bitcoin than most of us think, because every time it went up in value by a factor of 10, they sold some, which is how you and I can buy Bitcoin at $109,000. And it's why over time, even us, even we, people like you and me that are trying to acquire and accumulate Bitcoin in every conceivable way we can right now, even people like you and me at some point in the future are going to kick back and decide it's time to do something nice for ourselves. And I'm just picking a round number, $1.1 million per coin, because it's about 10 times what it is right now. And what it is right now is about 10 times what it was when I first started buying Bitcoin. Now, I'm still in Bitcoin accumulation mode. I'm 45 years old. My goal is still to get my hands on as much Bitcoin as I possibly can. But the day will come for me and for you when you look at the total amount of the value of your Bitcoin and you say, I want something to improve the lives of myself and my family more than I want this amount of Bitcoin. That day will come. That day comes for everyone, no matter how certain you are certain it won't come. And when that day comes, someone somewhere in the world will be complaining that the price of Bitcoin is suppressed, that someone is selling who shouldn't be. And you know what? It's money. So at the end of the day, you're going to use it like money eventually, just like everyone else. Until then, until you're up 10x on your investment, my advice, buy as much Bitcoin as you can and hold on to it for as long as conceivably possible. When you are way up on your Bitcoin investment, you'll know, you'll feel it, you'll understand that, hey, there's some things in the world that I want more than a massive Bitcoin stash. But for the vast majority of people, including me and including probably everybody watching this video, you're not there yet. You're still trying to get to whatever your minimum goal is to have as much Bitcoin as you want to have. And for me, that number is more than I have right now. And my guess is for you, that number is more than you have right now. But the day will come when you are the reason the Bitcoin price is not going higher, because you are improving the lives of yourself and your family. And at that point in time, you will be very thankful that Bitcoin was there for you to take you from here to there. And someone in the future will get Bitcoin and it will take them from there to somewhere in their future. And when money serves everyone's purpose by growing in value over time, that is the way money works. And even when 100% of the people in the world own Bitcoin, it's the universal money of the world and everyone uses it, it will still go up by 3% per year every single year, because humans get 3% better at making stuff every year. So money that is not being inflated away by the government, constantly being diluted, would go up 3% in value every single year, no matter what. If the US government just carte blanche stopped printing money, the US dollar, after the whole economic system adjusted to the fact that they were done printing money, the US dollar would increase in value 3% per year, because again, if there's a fixed amount of dollars and we get 3% better at making stuff, then your US dollars would go up 3% per year. But they don't, because the US government prints 7% more US dollars every year. Some of that is absorbed by emerging economies whose currency is in a free fall, like Zimbabwe and Argentina at various points, and Venezuela and Nigeria and Turkey. Some of that 7% is absorbed by emerging market economies. But most of that shows up in inflation, meaning your purchasing power drops. So your purchasing power buys you 3, 4, 5% less every year. And the rest of that 7% of the money they're printing gets absorbed by emerging nations. But your money should go up 3% a year, even when it's 100% adopted worldwide. But right now, only 5% of the world owns any Bitcoin. So you've got 95% of worldwide adoption yet to come, which means not only do you have a huge economic upside to the price of Bitcoin as the world adopts Bitcoin, but even when the very last person in the entire world adopts Bitcoin, it will still go up 3% per year, and even they will benefit. That is the beautiful world of money that works like money was intended, and it's a beautiful thing. And anyway, when money serves you instead of serving those in power and those with the magic money printer, it is a beautiful thing. And I hope and pray that you benefit from Bitcoin the way I have and the way so many others have, by sound money that nobody can print more of, that serves you instead of the other way around.